I'm laughing. I just got an inbox. Somebody said, y'all coming on or not?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blackwell Project. Happy New Year to everybody that is fortunate enough to be within the sound of our voice and to be within eyesight of us, because there's a lot of people that haven't made it. So just want to definitely say shout outs to them, shout outs to the ancestors. But we are now in a new year. We've left 2020 behind, so we're going to reflect on 2020 a little bit and then get into what our goal setting is for 2021. For everybody that is joining us, we want to know, how did your 2020 go? And what are your plans for 2021? What y'all got cooking up? What y'all got in the kitchen? What's in the pot? All right, everybody, it's the new year. But what's up to the Blackwell team? I see Tracy's here looking all spry and young. Just had a major birthday, so she coming in here glowing. So she must have had a good time. What's up with the rest of the team? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing amazing.
I have questions. Did everybody get their collard greens, black eyed peas, cornbread, rice? Did we get that for the? Did we get that for the?
I'm getting that tonight.
Nah.
I mean, isn't that doesn't that defeat the purpose though?
Yeah, I thought that we were supposed to do that on New Year's Day, right?
You are.
We did it last year. Look what happened. Pass. No.
Yeah, I'm off that.
I still did it. 2020 didn't have nothing to do with my ancestors. I still got to pay homage.
That's right, Tracy. Come through, Tracy.
Come on through, Tracy. Yeah.
I don't even know why it's a thing. I don't know.
Go do some history
of that.
That's easy. Go do some research. Remedy that. You smart. You HBCU certified.
I'm just messing with you.
They don't teach that at HBCU?
We know they do.
We're not normally in school at HBCU. We're not normally in school.
The way no, but seriously, but seriously, I think it is something that we do need to talk about, because I think we carry a lot of kind of things that we do that we don't really know, and they actually do have history rooted, and we should know that. And I feel like, we kind of had that big conversation about Kwanzaa a couple of weeks ago, but there are certain things, and I think we say that, we don't have a culture, but we do have a culture. And I think we need to stop underplaying that we don't have one. Is it as strong as we would like? Absolutely not. But it does exist. It does.
Listen, that might be a book, Courtney. It might be the culture of the African Americans. That might be a book in your future.
I received that, Malik.
Right.
So, Courtney, did you have it? Did you have your greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes?
So I do not eat beans or rice, but I did have I did make greens. I did.
You made them?
You're not going to shade me today.
I'm asking. I just want clarity.
You're not going to shade me. Yes, I did. And for Thanksgiving, I made the entire meal.
Look, he was waiting for that. He set that up too. He slow played that. He knew exactly what he was doing. I see you, good brother.
I didn't know Courtney was a domesticated lady. I just thought she
Listen, man, you like a battle rapper. I saw you set that whole thing up.
You know what? That's
Tracy, y'all gotta peep Tracy sometimes, because I'll slip something in and she don't miss nothing. Courtney caught it too, but Tracy don't be missing nothing.
I don't. I hear everything, even if I don't react.
It's all fun, y'all. But listen, it's 2021. I'm glad we're all here. Let's check in with our peeps real quick. I see Roby's in the building.
Hey, Roby.
Hey, what's going on, Roby?
As y'all check in, make sure y'all let us know, what was y'all 2020 high, what was y'all 2020 low, what could y'all have done better, what are y'all planning on doing better, and what are your goals for 2021? Adrian, Happy New Year. Don Jesus.
Don the legend.
Don got caught up in my nonsense yesterday on Twitter.
I saw that. Y'all was rumbling LLC Twitter.
I missed that.
It was fights for the ages.
Happy New Year, Don. Jose, 2020 was a solid year.
That's what's up, man.
Earned 4.0 this last semester. Oh, congratulations.
Congrats, bro. Congrats.
And boom, he came with the heavyweight. My main
Jose, are you a finance major, Jose?
Hold on. His main portfolio was up 52%. Got it.
I love it.
He beat the smoke off the market.
Yes. Go ahead, Jimmy. You was asking something.
I was asking Jose, is he a finance major? I know before you said he was taking finance classes. I was asking, what's his major?
Oh, nice. All right, Don's over here laughing at us. All right, Agent says, I ate my greens, black eyed peas on the first. COVID ain't stopping tradition. My FP post has a picture of my plate with a story. And at the end, I said our ancestors had so much hope for the future, they put it into the food.
Come on, Adrian. Come through.
Come through, Adrian. Yes.
Yo, what's up, Callie?
What's up, Callie? Happy New Year.
Callie.
Hey, Monica.
Yo.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Callie.
Happy belated birthday.
Hey, you know what? Hey, real quick, Kamara, can you make her post real fast? Go back to Monica post.
Which one?
Monica's.
See, he said he's setting it up too. I already see where. Come on, man.
No. I was just saying, like, you can really see the difference in Jimmy's face between here and there. Like, yo, that 70-pound loss, man, you can really tell.
Oh, listen, man, that's that Peloton, man. All right, I appreciate that.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Listen,
Listen,
Peloton
man.
did me wonders all kinds of ways
Listen,
this year.
Malik got a heart sometimes, y'all.
Sometimes.
He's really good.
Yo,
Listen,
Malik,
man.
Jim thought Malik was throwing the alley-oop. He thought he was about
I
to
saw Kamari. I saw Kamari set the slander up earlier on Courtney. Okay, here we go. I see what we doing tonight.
All right. So Jose says financial services. So
Nice.
So your major is financial services. Is that correct, Jose, or finance?
That's awesome.
No greens and black. All right.
What's going on over there?
No, but here's the thing though. We did support South Jazz, and that was my first time getting anything from South Jazz.
They get busy.
Listen, and that's a black owned establishment. Oh my God.
The Bynum brothers, not only do they own South Jazz, they are notorious for warm daddies.
Yep.
And there's one more, Relish. Thank you.
So
Oh damn! You know what's crazy? I didn't even know that was them. How I found it was like, you on Uber Eats when they hit you with the black owned restaurant. I was like, okay, let's try this. Oh my God!
Yeah.
good. It's like slap somebody good. But Monica,
it is. It's like
that's good because I didn't really like warm daddies, so except for cornbread. So maybe I'll try.
This is different. Like you can't have it often because it's nothing. You know what I mean? It was like we're gonna bring the new year in with this, and I'm gonna leave it alone probably till next New Year. But oh my God.
Yeah.
South got a little bit of a French Creole kind of twist to it for the soul food that they do, which is different from Daddy.
Yeah, no, they definitely do, and it's really good. Monica and I are going to Relish when Outside opens up, so if y'all want to come,
we all pulling up. Let's all pull up.
Oh wow!
Right?
So it's you and y'all and
Wait,
I think
we can do that.
I think
Yo, I heard somebody get called a scumbag, and that's all I heard.
I don't know, man. The way
I don't know what's happening.
what? I missed that.
You were breaking up a little bit, Kamari.
Everybody was breaking up. Malik was breaking up. Kamari is breaking up, and I'm so confused. I said Monica are going to Relish, and everybody got mad. I don't know what happened.
Because
I get mad.
Extended to everybody.
Right, but here's the thing. So since Courtney put it out there, the tab's on Courtney. I'm cool with that.
Oh, we all pulling up. We pulling up then.
Pause. I didn't say that.
Listen, put it on the business.
I'm minding my
It's tax
business.
deductible.
Well, hold on though. We're all going to see the Ivy Investor because that way,
Yeah, she can put it as a tax.
That's
write-off.
right. There you go.
Oh yeah. Isn't all meals deductible under the new stimulus bill?
That's right. This is
100%.
This is an Ivy
100%.
Investor event. We just planned the Ivy Investor event.
Yes, we did. Let's go.
But I didn't agree to this, guys. I had to sign off on it. That's part of consideration. Ask. There's a consideration. I didn't agree to this. There's no.
This is not a contract, Courtney. This is not a contract.
This ain't it, y'all.
This ain't a contract.
That's hilarious.
All right, so I am pulling up the list of. I'm trying to find why these foods were relevant to the African people that were enslaved during the time of New Year's celebrations in this country. I found a USA Today article, but it's not really listing out each one of the things. It's kind of just giving this whole rigmarole. So I'll find that before the end of the show is out, and we'll definitely have a conversation about the importance of traditions to our ancestors. So let's get this party started. Like I said, as y'all all check in, let us know what your 2020 was like. What were the highs, what were the lows, and what you got planned for 2021. hopefully some big and major powerful things, because I know our audience rocks. They're very ambitious people. Mm-hmm. So let's get this started. The BOB of the week. Who has that this week? Is that you, Courtney?
I think so. We are talking about Miss Pat McGrath. She is a makeup artist. She's born in, but she actually lives in Britain. She is. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, Kylie Jenner was noted as the first self-made billionaire in makeup, and they were like, "Nah, she's not." But you know who is? Pat McGrath.
Yeah, slow down, non-sister. She's not a slow down, ease up.
So yes, I was super excited. I actually have her lipstick on today. I'm trying to figure out what color I have. Here it is. It is, I don't know. The beauty bloggers put like a hand behind it or something. I don't even know how this works, y'all. This is why I had to not. Yes. Her packaging is everything. If you just see like lips, but it's a beautiful color. I know this is really ridiculous, but I got this. It's beautiful. So she's dope. Really amazing. And so with Pat McGrath, I actually gave her website in there too, Mari. But that's the BOB of the week. And I just really think it's so important because in the beauty industry.
Okay, I will find.
Go ahead. So in the beauty industry, Black women have just started to get. They're just doing their recognition. I know I was having a conversation with my grandmother. And she was saying that she always had to go to the store and have somebody make her makeup because she never could find what she needed on the shelf. And I don't know when Bitsy came out, she actually had a full range. Jimmy, she had a full range of makeup shades for everybody, from the lightest to the dark. And I think it's so important that we are seen because so many times Black women are not seen, and especially when it comes to their beauty. And we have conversations that, there's always a Black, there's always a Black hair care place or whatever. But when you go to other places, like I lived in West Virginia for 5 years, the only place I had to go was Sally's. And if you know anything about Sally's Beauty Supply, it's not weird. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So again, it's about not being seen. And I think it's so important when you see somebody who looks like you, making sure that she's taking care of people like you, but she's actually a amazing figure in the industry, so much so that she is the first self-made billionaire in the industry. It just says so much. So that is Pat.
That's crazy. She was able to accomplish that, and I never heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not on TV every day wearing makeup. So
I get that. But I'm just talking about in terms of business, not necessarily her product.
Right.
Just the business story.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a silent assassin.
Yeah, she out there getting.
Well, I think it also shows that you don't necessarily have to be super duper famous in order to be super duper rich either.
Correct.
So,
at all.
I think a lot of us get that confused a lot of times.
Those are the best kinds of rich people. I love those ones that live in the shadows but are making the biggest noise. Those are the best.
I know. People like Kamari.
You know what? It's 2021 and I will claim that, sir. Thank you so much.
There you go. That's right. So,
all right. So, Pat McGrath. It seems like we are experiencing a bit of a COINTELPRO interference. It's like our feed is disrupted just a little bit. So, but just bear with itself out shortly. But maybe everybody's online celebrating too, like we are. But all right, so
hopefully everybody just back to work in school. We can stop the confusion.
I missed all that, Malik.
I said, hopefully soon people are back at work in school and get off the internet.
I don't know. I heard the virus is like a super virus now, according to what's going on in California.
Listen, if y'all saw what's going on in Atlanta, got everybody out there partying.
Ain't no virus in Atlanta. They cool. They chilling.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody at the club. They having their own super spreader event. So I don't know. We'll see.
Listen, they in a, how are you in a party limo like 20 people and like no mask? And I'm like, bro, it's bananas out there. They just.
But California was going through it this weekend too. They had they're getting overwhelmed. They said this. It seems to be a new virus, like it's mutated. Mm-hmm. Called it a super virus. I was like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Well, that all started in London or in UK. They were first reported.
And getting the vaccine.
Now it's kind of transferred over here.
Anyone getting the vaccine?
I'm gonna probably have to get the vaccine. And I had COVID. I'll be keep it all the way funky. I had COVID in July. I had a relatively mild case. It still was not a walk in the park. I had brain fog I just started clearing, so maybe about the last month or so. It's such a rough virus. But on top of that, I'm supposed to be going to Bali with Brown Girls to Invest in April. And if we're still going, I'm gonna have to get the virus for me to travel. I'm gonna have to live with the virus. I'm gonna have to get the vaccine for me to travel. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it. We had a whole forum with some of my sorority sisters who were also doctors at University of Penn and a few other places, and they kind of really broke down the entire vaccine and the fact that it's really injecting you with the protein, not the actual virus, and it's supposed to make sure that the virus doesn't bond to your cells and all of that stuff. And it gave me a lot more insight to feel a lot better about the fact that, we're going to need to take it. And at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to move around the country or either gather in large capacities like concerts and theaters and those things because they're going to make it mandatory.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and turn into zombies, and I'm gonna go buy shotguns.
I don't know, Jimmy over there coughing kind of hard. Jimmy, you need that vaccine?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
You sure?
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
We need you, good brother. We need you.
Listen, I was outside this week, so I got I don't really go outside that much.
You got cold?
I got allergies.
Jimmy.
Yes, ma'am.
I knew somebody was gonna catch that.
I thought I had allergies. I really did. I was sitting, my nose was running. It was like running forever. I was like, what is going on? Cough, sneeze, hat, whatever. And it was July, so I thought it was allergies.
Mm-hmm.
It was COVID.
So, all right. Well, listen.
Yeah, I think I'll do it. I just need like I just need some more data to come through first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We can see what happens with Tracy and Courtney. They can test it out for us, and then we can go from there.
But see, I already have friends who've gotten it. I've already got friends that have it. They've gotten the full vaccine, both shots already. I mean, they're medical professionals, they're doctors, they're nurses, so they're already in the process.
But you know, right? Are they getting the Moderna? Are they getting the Pfizer? I know AstraZeneca was approved in Europe, so we'll probably have AstraZeneca like next week after that here in the U.S. But which vaccine people taking? Which one?
My folks got Pfizer.
It tells them on their. It actually tells them on their card. So I think I've seen Pfizer. I don't know if I've seen Moderna at all, but I know I've seen the Pfizer vaccine.
All right. So what's the what should we be taking? Like, should we be taking Moderna? Should we be taking Pfizer? Like, which one are you guys talking about taking?
I mean,
I don't think we have a choice. I think
Moderna's a new company. If I can avoid it, I'm not taking Moderna. It's brand new. It's their first product. Pass.
Correct. Pfizer.
But supposedly Moderna has the higher efficiency rate or effectiveness rate or whatever you will call it.
Yeah.
Pfizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At this point, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you have a choice. If we're going to have a choice, and I don't know if you guys caught that the government messed up the sourcing. So again, we're going to have a couple of different logistical issues. So I don't know. And then even still, once you get the vaccine, you still got to mask up.
Correct.
So it's not.
Yeah, listen. Listen. My life forever. Listen. I don't care. Everybody got a vaccine. I'm still wearing the mask. No handshakes. 6 feet. That's the new me forever. That's it.
Except for when you're in Atlanta.
I'm not going no more. I ain't going to Atlanta. Listen. I go to Atlanta. I'm still going to do the same exact thing. No more Blue Flame. I'm not going there no more. But everywhere else is cool.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
What you saying, Corey?
I said, yeah, no, I'm not messing with that. Like, y'all go ahead and I might take it in like 5 years after
5 years
after the first wave of y'all, because the reason why it takes these things so long to get approved is because they had to do clinical trials and they got to see what happened to people as they go along.
Right.
And these clinical trials haven't happened. So I'm going to let y'all be the clinical trial and then I'm going to come on the back end.
So that was the other conversation I had with a lot of the Black doctors that actually a few of them got on Clubhouse and really, really gave a few conversations regarding it. It wasn't that they didn't do the clinical trials. And it's a lot of a misconception regarding clinical trials as well, because actually It's slowed down a lot because of how the government requires the testing and the approval for the next phase to be done. In this case, the approvals were just given faster to start the next phase, but all the trials were done. They have all of the research actually available, I think, for public knowledge, because they were telling us that there is a place that you can go to where you can read the entire 150.
I'll go on Google. I'll go on Google Scholar and I'll look it up. But I'm gonna say this. Just like I don't buy the first PlayStation, I'm not buying a PS5 till next December. I won't be getting that vaccine until, you know what I mean.
I guess for me it depends upon how they make it. Or will you need it to travel? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I respect people waiting, and I understand the thought process of this, but I feel like you're not going to have a choice if you want to travel, if your kids want to go to school. Like measles, mumps vaccination is going to be COVID, is going to be a part of that list if your kids want to go back to school. Like they're making it a big full.
Yeah. My kids have been homeschooled for 3 years, but if it requires me to, I built my life so I don't have to deal with people. So I get it, but is go ahead. I'm listening.
All I was saying is if Bitcoin and Ethereum keep going up, I need to get out the country. So therefore, that all depends upon, there's a lot of variables that play right here.
So I see this comment from Tavar Jones.
I do too.
I'm just curious. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
What the concept is.
Stop lying about what? I'm confused.
About what?
Taking the vaccine, not taking the vaccine, or what we talking about?
Yeah, Tavara, clue us in. What we talking about?
What are we talking about?
Thanks for tuning in the comment and thanks for the engagement. So we I know to travel for sure. I'm going to take it, but what I dislike though is all the talk about the vaccine and no talk about remedy and treatment. Let me get a pill. If I get it, let me get a pill. Why we gotta give everybody in the world a vaccine?
The thing is, they have treatments. The treatments probably cost a lot to make, and they don't want to treat everybody.
They probably can't afford to treat everybody.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they probably can't afford to treat it because they giving the people that get it in Washington. That's the first person that died. Damn near the whole Senate and every Republican damn near had it. And Fat Boy from New Jersey had it, and he ain't died. And he got the good vaccine. I mean, the good remedy. They giving the regular people the regular remedy. So I don't think that everybody getting the same treatment when it comes to COVID.
No, we know that. You could tell by the black doctor that complained about her treatment in the hospital. You know everybody not getting the same treatment. That's a given. But
rest in power to her.
Rest in power to her. But I do trust remdesivir. That's one thing I do trust, because I actually watched the interview of the one of the people that discovered that treatment, and they were at the UNC Chapel Hill, and they're working on it since the SARS outbreak. And he was like, no, it works. We know that it works for all of SARS. And so I trust that treatment. It might be a combination, but I personally, if I have to get the vaccine, I will take the vaccine. I have an autoimmune disease. I don't know how COVID and my autoimmune disease are going to marry, right? And so for that reason, I'm more likely to take the vaccine. But I would rather have a treatment than a vaccine. We'll see what happens.
I guess from looking at what the folks are saying, they're talking about the mandatory part of it. That's what people don't like.
Oh, yeah,
right, but hold on real quick. Let's put some respect on our ancestor right in her name. I want to say Ashe to Dr. Susan Moore. That was the doctor we're all referring to. Dr. Susan Moore is a doctor who got the word out about COVID, got the word out about the disparities in Black treatment in medical establishments, which has been a thing for a long time, but definitely want to give a name to our ancestor as we go along and talk about this conversation. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was talking about just what the folks are saying. Like, the problem doesn't seem to be the vaccine. It seems to be the fact that it's the mandatory part. That's what people don't like.
Right.
Yeah, the conversations that I was hearing from a lot more people was just more, everybody had a choice. You had a choice to do the right thing and wear masks and social distance, and that was asked. People didn't do it, so now we have to mandate something to make sure that we can handle the entire population that is not listed.
So I'm curious, like, what are they doing? What are they doing in Wuhan? Do they have a vaccine in Wuhan?
Yeah, supposedly they do.
But I think the issue is that it was the problem that the masks were not made mandatory. So there's an issue between state and federal government. Is that essentially the states have, under the 10th Amendment, have the right to regulate the health, welfare, and safety of its residents. What President Trump decided to do is he decided to say, y'all basically do what y'all want. I'm not making the call, because it became political to him. The whole thing was politicized, and that's how the masks were not made mandatory. That's why we're in the problem. That's why we have the problems we have now. And that's the real issue. And I want Kabari to bring up this point by Jose talking about the 99% survival rate, because that's not true. And it's not true for African Americans, and it's certainly not true for Native Americans. Kamari, I dropped the link in our group chat. I want you to pull up those statistics, because that's just fake news, Jose. And I feel as a person who's had COVID, as a person who has had several friends in ICU over COVID, I've had one friend who's had 4 people separately die from COVID, and she's a Black woman, and she's under the age of 35. I have a real problem. Fake news. I have a real problem with fake news. This is not true. It's not true, especially for African Americans, Jose. It's just not right. And we have to be. I normally don't get upset about when somebody says something I don't agree with, but it's just not factual. And I think it's really important when we're talking about these things, when we talk about the comorbidities, when we talk about how things adversely affect African Americans, that we keep it all the way funky, and that ain't funky.
Correct.
All right, I got it up, and this is what source is this from, Courtney? APM Research Lab. Who are they?
I don't know. That was the best one I had in the intro. It's the best I had. I was looking at a couple. The CDC put one out, but it wasn't a graph. The graph in there, I think, is from another source.
Okay, so I'm just going along with this, y'all. I trust Courtney as a source. She's not fake news. So here's the graph right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the green line is Black folks, and that is who has the highest level of COVID deaths. So rate per 100,000 looks to be at 1.23. So for every 100,000 Black folks that is contracting COVID, 123 of those are dying. So as when you compare that to indigenous people, it's 133. And when you compare that to Pacific Islanders, it's 83. White folks, 68.7. And Asians. So Asians have the lowest rate of death per 100,000 population. So they have 49.9.
Is that worldwide or in a nation?
Courtney, do you know the answer to that?
This is Americans. It's Americans.
Okay. All right. So again, white folks 68.7, and then we're looking at Black folks that are 114. Wow. So it's almost more than double than what.
Honestly, like real shit. I think that might be like 100% due to diet. I mean, I don't know, but just thinking about.
I mean, no. Listen. Here's what I will say is, when I was watching earlier, and they were talking about California, one of the persons that caught that new mutated virus was a 20-year-old white guy, and he's out of here, and he was perfectly healthy. So he was a white guy who was at the bottom of that list or what have you, and wasn't wearing a mask or anything like that, but he caught COVID and was out of here. And they said he had what they're calling the mutated version of the virus. So. And I know people personally that have lost their life to COVID. So
yeah, for sure.
It's a little different when you know people that have personally had it, and you see people that are going, and some of them weren't even sick at all, had no pre-existing condition. So when you actually literally know someone that you can call and talk to, and they're no longer here, it hits a little different than just seeing stuff on TV.
Right. But hold on, y'all. Let's take a moment, kind of reset real quick. We're definitely talking about what's happening in 2020. We're definitely talking about what's 2020 is dragging into 2021. But we want to get back to y'all folks. How did y'all experience 2020? Was it fine? Was it hard? Were you successful? I see Jose made a whole bunch of money in the market, also brought some silver bars. That's great. Give us some of y'all wins. Give us some of y'all losses. What are y'all plans for 2021? So as we go into this segment, I'm going to start off with Malik. What you got planned for? Well, tell us about your 2020, and then tell us what you plan on doing, getting done in 2021, Malik.
I mean, well, we covered a lot about what I did in 2020. 2020 was actually a really good year financially for me. I learned a lot. I studied a lot. You know, I made a lot of money in the stock market. I am now my course is out. So now I'm learning on marketing that. And I also wrote a segment of a couple of books. So yeah, as far as what I've done and what I learned some new skills, and I'm still learning new skills. But what I do feel bad about is I didn't do a business plan for 2021. Like I normally do my business plan for the year in November, and it wasn't until last week I was like, damn, I didn't even do any business planning at all for this year. I didn't set any goals myself at all for this year. I said none. I have no flip goals. I have no rental acquisition goals. I didn't set not one goal for myself this year. So I kind of feel bad. So I really need to really sit down somewhere and figure out, my goals for this year. But what I will say is that this year is actually starting off I'm going to have a pretty good start to the year. It seems like, because two of my projects one of them went under contract on New Year's Eve, actually.
Congratulations.
I'm setting a record for that sale. I'm setting a record for my duplex, which should go to settlement next month. So I got a lot of money coming in the first quarter. And so that's going to hopefully set the tone for everything else going forward. But that's it, man. I ask me again next week what my goals are, and I'll let you know. All
right. So Malik, can you add this goal to your list, right? So since you flipping like crazy, we're gonna take Courtney out of the equation. You should pay for everybody going to South, but we know you cheap, so you ain't gonna do that.
I mean, I've no. Wait. No. Relish is helpful for things. Relish I can pay for itself.
No. You have said publicly that you're cheap. You said you're cheap. So when you take the Blackwell Project team out to dinner to South,
listen, Relish is like $20 a person for their brunch.
We didn't say Relish, we said South.
No, that's South. No.
Boy, I ain't get bread. He don't even break bread with us.
Listen, I could buy everybody a drink. I can't do that.
All right, Courtney, seems like it's still back on you. All right, Jimmy, what you got? How was your 2020? What you got planned for 2021?
2020 was a strange year for me. One of the worst years of my life, but also a blessing at the same time. So I had a lot of loss. Like I was telling you guys on a Clubhouse, I lost my mom in 2020, but outside of that, I lost a lot of family and friends, and some due to COVID. So that's the one piece. Professionally, I probably had the best year of my life business-wise. So trying to celebrate that, but then I know other people are struggling and still going through my own loss was very difficult. 2020 is a very difficult year for me. It's like all kinds of emotions when I think about 2020 and when I look back on 2020. In terms of this year coming up, I want to figure out how to serve more because the world has changed. We talked about the vaccination for the first part of the show, and these are all things that we have to think about as we try to live our lives moving into 2021. So Corey and I, with our platform, we usually are doing a lot of work in the community, and we just weren't able to do as much as we have done in the past because of COVID. So trying to figure out that how to move all that online is been kind of difficult because it's not the same. But just trying to figure things out moving into 2021. Real estate wise, I just got a property that I'm actually getting ready to put on the market. So hopefully I get a deal soon like Malik did. Malik, put his right up and got it sold. So I got one of those coming up. I got a settlement in January. So real estate wise, everything's good. In terms of the market, I shared this past week that Peloton killed for me this year. My number one holding. You know what I mean? I'm wearing this T-Mobile hat for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not a black-owned company, but they've done the black community. They've done the black community well, at least my household. So up over 70% this year, but that's either here nor there. So like I said, investment wise, business wise, 2020 was amazing, but it's kind of hard to celebrate when you have so much loss and when you see just others out there. Like people out here are struggling, man, and it's difficult to watch. And this is a year that none of us will forget. None of us have ever lived through anything like that. I could say that without asking you guys. So 2020 for me has just been an up and down. It's a literal roller coaster.
Gotcha. Corey, what you got for me, brother?
2020 was it was weird. Like I started 2020, and I started off 2020 talking mad crazy shit. Like 2020 was just gonna be like I was gonna chop the whole house down on 2020. But I started 2020 with some health challenges too, because I was sick, and the doctors told me I had some strange whatever, but I think I had COVID. I can't lie. So like they told me I had some like you're perfectly healthy. Why do you have pneumonia? Yeah, because I think I had COVID, but they didn't know what to call it when I got sick. So so I came into 2020 with some health challenges. So I know about the brain fog and all that stuff, but I still came in talking trash because that's what I do. And then
That's honest.
I mean, so I mean, I gotta keep it 1,000, and so as far as my business goals, 2020 was a year where I gained a lot of knowledge, and then 2021 is about execution, right? So I don't plan on working any harder in 2021 than I did in 2020 because I always work hard at whatever I do. So I don't have to force myself to work hard. But what I will do is force myself to execute better in 2021. And so, I made a lot of, and what I did in 2020 was connect with a lot of people that have the same mindset as I do, right? I had some falling outs with some folks, and I lost some other folks. But as far as my family, I mean, we was sitting on a ranch for 4 months in the middle of the pandemic, but we ain't had to touch nobody. We was 10 miles from the nearest person. So like family wise, my personal nuclear family, we was cool. Like you want to talk about not having like we literally didn't see nobody for like a month and a half. So that part of the pandemic, I wasn't really, and then I was blessed to be in a position to be able to do that financially. And so, but like Jim was saying, to watch other people get kicked in the teeth was crazy. Like I'm not one of those people that can watch other people get kicked in the teeth and not want to, help them pick their teeth up. So it's kind of weird, like with my 2020. But in 2021, I just want to take those connections that I made in 2021, and I want to be able to bring value to those people, and then have those people help me execute my 2021 better. So that's what I plan on doing with my 21.
Gotcha. Courtney, what about you?
2020 was I mean, I think we all have the same thing. 2020 was an interesting year. It was a really, I mean, this is probably the first time I've said this. My mom's cancer came back. So we found that out in July. So we have been dealing with going back and forth to the cancer center. That's not a lot of fun. And then also adding COVID into the mix, not a lot of fun. But also with her finding out that her cancer came back, I had COVID. So but I think I said this on Clubhouse. You get by with the help of your friends. So my parents gifted me a property a couple of years ago, needed some work, and great credit, great income, and we could not get the asset to make sense under kind of traditional financing. And so I thought I could do it, y'all, because I do financing. I've been doing financing forever since I started my career, and this particular finance I couldn't get right. So I had to call my friend Tracy, and I called my friend Tracy, and she got it together. She found me a person to do the mortgage. She found me a person to do the work. And it was great. And then I say this also is that Sonia, the student loan doctor, had to notarize my mortgage through the mail slot because I was still in quarantine. The deal would not have gotten done, but for those two people. And to kind of deal with, my parents gave me the property in 2013. So now we are like 7 years later. And it's finally kind of in the work. So that was a really big deal for me. And business wise, like Jimmy, it's really hard for me to say this. This was the best business year I've ever had. Sure. But it really does burn to say that, because again, when you watch people that are close to you hurting, I had also had a family member who had, 2 attempted suicides. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and you still can't quite get right. So it lets you know that money doesn't solve all the problems. it makes some of the things easier. Like we've had major appliances fail in the house for some reason, and we were able to replace them easily, no problem, whatever. But at the same time, is that there's a lot of things wrong, and you can't miss that. I think that's pretty much all I have for 2020. Now 2021, we getting busy. I'm going to get a little bit more, very much intentional about my business, and
Lord.
and that. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome. Love you, girl.
Hi, Tracy. And we getting busy, and that's really where we are in 2021. 2020 was really needed in terms of a forced rest, and it wasn't a restful rest, but it was still forced, and it was still a rest of some nature. And it also caused me to kind of step back and kind of examine some things that weren't really working, that kind of looked like they were working because that you were just doing and going through the motions.
Yep.
Gotcha. Tracy, coming to you next, sweetheart. What you got for us?
2020, I echo a lot of the sentiments that were already discussed. Roller coaster, forced rest, a lot of tragedy and maneuvering, and I hate the word pivot because it's been overused in the format of talking about 2020. But that's exactly what it was. It was a storm of just kind of serendipitous situations that helped to make sure that certain things that were supposed to happen needed to happen. And it shook out a lot of people's business models that were not working or were hanging on by a thread. They literally got exposed in COVID because of the quarantine and different things. My family and my friendship circle. And the one thing I will say too is, one of the things that I do notice after talking about this a few times is, in my friend circle, we got tighter. Like, folks were checking on people weekly. We had Zoom calls, we had happy hours, we had different things that was just kind of like, girl, I know you in their house going crazy with those kids, or I know you in the house going crazy because you live by yourself. I need to put some eyes on you, and I need to make sure you're okay. And going into the new year, you have a better appreciation for your circles and a better appreciation for the people who not only support you, but they check on your mental health. Because it's super important in crisis mode. It's super important when so many drastic things change and you have to deal with, tragedy, as well as, from a business perspective. Like most people, like, this was probably one of my best years personally, that had nothing to do with anything else or any other components, with just my full-fledged effort. And that's bittersweet when you think about all of the details that you had to fight through to go through. Like, you were literally like fighting through a storm just to kind of, make it happen. But if you did well, you can plant some seeds going into 2021. It can really, really put yourself in a position to set it up for the next generation in your family if you did it right. So my 2020, we did a lot of conversations and stuff still too with some of my family, some people who didn't lock up their wills, who didn't realize that they needed to because people were getting sick or people were going into the hospital, or there were trusts where the actual trustee or the board of the trustee was not created, and they had been going back and forth about which family member was going to do it. Definitely locked it all up. Definitely did a lot more of that discussions and secured that paperwork during this crisis, so to speak. But it's going to set my family in another motion for the next 15 years. So I'm grateful. But I have a lot of respect and humility for the storm that it came out of to project that growth.
And so what do you have planned for 2021?
2021, I'm doing a lot more strategic planning. Definitely, you guys know I'm a part of Mosaic Brokerage. I'm the vice president of the brokerage and the director of residential sales. So we're trying to really, really get some real discussions around minority representation in real estate, heavy for at least our area and the tri-state area. So that's kind of my focus and my goal. And with the backing of the development company for some of the big things that they got going on, I'm excited.
Okay. So last but not least is me. So I want to start it off with gratitude though, right? Because everybody knows 2020 was a bitch, like full on. I've had a bunch of people die, family members, a lot of due to age, a lot due to COVID. But I'm thankful. I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for the Black Well Project. Every Sunday, I get to look forward to sitting here talking to these 5 other genius level people that are doing things that are movers and shakers and that are ultimately moved by faith, right? Because they continue to push forward through every week, every day, even though we all had our setbacks, all of us. I mean, when you sit here and you listen to some of these stories, it's like, wow, you did that in spite of that. That's amazing. I mean, and so everybody on this panel has had some kind of loss in some way, shape, or form, but yet and still, we still survived. Yet and still, we still push through. And you know, Tracy talked about paying homage to the ancestors. You know, a lot of times we don't realize just how much hell our ancestors went through, and yet and still, they still push through. And so I feel, you know, kind of a kinship or a linkage between this last year's 2020 and with us actually going through. And it's not just us on the Black Well Project, but there's so many of us that are pushing through and doing better. I mean, but for me going forward through 2020, through 2021 rather, 2020 has let me see some of the chinks in my armor as it relates. One of my goals off rip, and I'm going to ask y'all to all hold me accountable, is I need to lose 50 pounds. So I need to drop 50 all top. So that means I got to eat better. I got to exercise more. I got to drink more water, and I got to get busy because if anything, 2020 has taught me to appreciate life, right? And so if we're going to appreciate life, we got to do the things that produce more life. And, you know, health really is wealth. I know that's kind of cliche now, but it's so truthful. It's so truthful. It's no point in doing all this work and trying to make good for everybody when you're not actually taking care of your number one asset, which is yourself. So I got to drop 50. And the other thing I need to do is I need to build more infrastructure in my business. And my business is kind of 2 components. The majority of my business comes from tax. I'm definitely going to be moving into the tax resolution side of things where I'm helping people resolve IRS tax debt, state tax debt. But I got to build out infrastructure for that. And the other side of my business is content. I love doing content as well because to me, that's education. So I get to educate folks about all this LLC Twitter nonsense that Courtney's been battling with and many others have been battling with. So that's something else I'm going to be taking on my back and doing more of. People think I do a lot now. I feel like I have a whole lot more to do. So those are 2 of my big macro goals for the year, dropping that 50 pounds and definitely doing more content as it relates to the Black community, increasing their wealth opportunities. And also figuring out other things, you know, tactically as we get throughout the year. But that's it for me. Hopefully we all can definitely continue to focus on our wealth. I know we talk a lot about money up here, but I really want to see us focus more on our health because we're going to get to the money. I would almost say that's guaranteed. But again, if we ain't here to celebrate that money, to use that money, to appreciate that money with good health, what does it matter? But Jimmy, I know Jimmy lost what? You lost what, 70? You muted, Jimmy.
I was sitting up here talking up a storm too. I was like, why ain't they listening to me? But no, yeah, close to 70 pounds I lost this year. Shout out to Peloton, and also just like, you know, changing my diet. Having an opportunity to kind of like sit down and look at everything from health, from your finances. Like that's also something that came. You talk about the positive side of this. Is like, all right, the whole world shut down. So even if you wanted to do what you normally do, you couldn't. So it gave you the opportunity to sit down and kind of like take an assessment of what you need to improve upon. And for me, that was one of the things I've been trying to improve upon. And it gave me the opportunity to like, you know, set things in motion. And now it's like, you know, it's habit. They say 21 days. It might be a little longer than 21 days for me. But at this point, it's a habit. I'm looking at my board as I look over here. I got a streak right now of 193 days consecutive of using my Peloton. So,
Hey.
yeah. So like, you know, and to be honest with you, if not for COVID, I don't even know if I would have been able to do it. Like, so it gave me the opportunity to sit down and like kind of like get that part together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's check in with some of the people in our audience. There's a lot. I want to focus on this one right here. So I'm a big fan of Black Love, y'all. And so if y'all notice, Monica is here every week supporting her boo, Jimmy. And hopefully she actually appreciates the conversation. But in all seriousness, right? Monica says she lost 67 pounds too. So they clearly are doing this as a team.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's awesome, right? If you can find somebody that you can build with, that you can lose weight with, right? Gain weight with, get money with. I mean, what's it all about?
Hey,
So I want to applaud both of y'all for doing that. I think that's so awesome, y'all.
it's a team sport, man.
Listen, man, appreciate
Wealth is a team sport, and they a team. You know what I mean? They really out here going get buckets together. So
Listen, I said that on one of our lives, and like a couple people got offended by it. I said, finding the right partner is a cheat code. It really is a cheat code.
It is. And people have written about that. I mean, what's the Think and Grow Rich dude? Napoleon Hill. He talks about that extensively in his book. I mean, that's not new, but I guess, sometimes we get overcome with lust and we forget about the growth and the love and the positive love that we forget about all that. So, but again, salutes to you, Monica. That's dope.
Appreciate that.
All right. So Fiali is asking for the Brotherhood University site for the stock market beginners, but I think somebody came.
BrotherhoodUniversity.com.
Right.
We sent it to her. She got it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Shout out
Callie.
to Kelly. Hey, Kelly, by the way, Kelly, I'm gonna give you a call this week. I got that property I'm getting ready to put it for sale. I need your services. So keep it all in the family.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So let's get back to some of these. 2020 was a blessing for me. I left a toxic workplace. God bless you. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Replacing it with a better job, my confidence and energy has increased. Yep. And it's funny. I'm not going to go too much on a rant on this, right? People always talking about, jobs suck, and we got this whole job shaming going through. But people a lot of times don't recognize that some of these jobs are blessings. One, you get to learn that you don't want to work for nobody else. Two, you get to learn and build skills on somebody else's dime. So I would just say, looking at 2020, right, and just kind of staying thankful and grateful is while you're in that job, save your bread, learn as much as you can, be as aggressive as you can as you up level, and don't look at it as a bad thing unless it's a super duper toxic workplace. But I feel like all I see right now on Instagram and everywhere else is, I hate my job. I hate my job. But last week you were just on vacation. So how did you get there? That's what I've always wondered.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, all right. Thad says there's been, I like that, Thad.
Yeah.
A lot of buyer's remorse. Yeah. In 2020, feeling bad because you're doing well when others around you are not. Yeah. That's fact.
I'm letting you know that term is as good as stolen.
Hold on. One at a time. Go ahead, Malik.
I said, I told them to do what I'm doing. They didn't. That's on them.
What's that mean, Malik? Everybody else.
Hey, listen, it's a fact. I said that, listen, Jimmy and Corey, I had a whole Zoom call with like 30 of my close family and friends. And we're like, listen, and I had a life insurance meeting first. At the life insurance meeting, I set up the stock meeting with Jimmy and Corey. Then I had the third meeting. And out of all them people, my family and friends, only 2 of them took any action.
80-20 rule.
That's right. 80-20 rule is real.
But I was just telling Thaddeus that that's the first time I've seen that term, and I like that. So that's as good as stolen. Thriver's remorse.
Like that project. Shout out.
All right, so Nate Hollowell says grew my network by 70%. Hey man, to you, brother.
Salute.
I got my FICO score above 800. Oh man, select. Yo, dinner on you, bro. 2021 purchased my first property, got this vaccine so I can travel again. All right. How was your experience taking the vaccine, Nate? Let us know.
He said he's got to get it.
You gotta get it.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Thank you, Corey.
The goal for 2021.
That's the goal. That's the 2021 goal. All right, so there's Jose. Jose is propping y'all up.
Oh man, listen, we appreciate that. I see a couple people do that, so thank you.
Yes.
You know what? This is major, can be. I want to build stronger relationships, purchase a rental property, and invest in professional development.
Awesome.
Relationship. People don't realize just how much money is made through relationships.
Correct.
I would venture.
All big money is made through relationships.
I was about to say, I would venture to say that any billionaire or millionaire didn't become a billionaire or millionaire if it wasn't for the quality and the strength of their relationships.
There's a lot of smart people that don't got no good relationships. It's broke as hell.
Correct.
And it's because of their relationship status. It's not because of their intellect. It don't have anything to do with them. It's the power of the people they got around them. They not lifting them, and that's what I was saying. Like that's why my 2021 goal was what it was. It's like let me be an asset to the people around me and help lift them up, and then let them help me execute my 2021. What my plan is, to have the people around me to help me execute. Because I already work hard. I don't need to work any harder.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, everybody in the comments repping for us, including me. But
hey, that's where it's supposed to be, right? All right. Mally says, "What's up, Mally? Welcome. Happy Sunday." And
happy Sunday.
Malik says facts, partner is key. Absolutely. Or partners. For you all that like polygamy. I don't want to leave nobody out, or polyandry. All right. Don says being married saved my life in my pockets.
Wait. What?
In my pockets.
I'm out. Sorry, roll that back. What were you talking about? What are you talking about? Polyamory? What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
He said, so I was going off Mally when he said partner is key, right? I said facts. And I said also shout out to those who have partners in polyandry and polygamy as well. They have partners too. No shade here. No shade.
You were adding the plural as well as the singular. You were saying to everybody. You were just trying to be all inclusive.
All the parts.
I was being all inclusive. I was practicing PC.
Okay.
Why do you look perplexed, Courtney?
Keep pushing. Go ahead.
I don't judge people's lifestyles.
I just didn't want to go down the rabbit hole because
I ain't going down a rabbit hole. We did that 2 weeks ago. We ain't doing that again.
Okay.
Relationships are key.
Hey, all right. So we appreciate that.
There you go.
Nice.
We're gonna make sure we get in touch soon as over with the add you to the group. But thank you.
Yeah. And there it is, polyamory, right? So somebody's feeling my vibe, right?
There you go.
No, it wasn't that. Listen, it was. She didn't understand what you were saying. She was trying to catch it. Like I got what you was doing. You were being PC.
Yeah, I was being PC. I don't want no problems. I don't
want no problems.
Everybody.
You want to hear something crazy real quick? And I know this is going to piss Malik off because I think he hates this term. I was filling out some paperwork this past week, and it asked like for race, and it had, Black or African American, white, but it had biopic within there as like an option. Absolutely. I had it as an option. I was like, oh, that's a thing now. It's really a thing.
Serious?
Dead serious. I showed Monica. I was like, yo, look at this. I was like, this is actually one of the options.
Yeah. Silence.
No.
Maybe we can just be silent. Oh, my fault.
Black people let people call them whatever they feel like calling them. And they adopt it.
Yeah, man. This is goofy.
No.
So how do we stop that, Malik?
Don't accept it.
Yeah.
How? You can't just put that out there. Like
I'm gonna call it out every time I see it. So or I'm gonna call it out every time I hear it. Like, look, man, don't put that not in my sphere of whatever influence I have in the world. I'm not accepting it.
But what was interesting was Black was an option, as was that. I'm like, I thought Black was included in it. It was just very confusing, but I was like, okay, so this is where we're going in 2021.
Everybody's trying to be PC, which is good and bad all at the same time.
Yeah, that's goofy.
Like Khan says, my 2021 goals are to continue to build investment groups and to maintain as well as build on the great relationships I have. Great goals, Khan. Great goals.
Absolutely great goals.
All right. So as we wind down that segment, any last chance, anybody that did not share their 2021 goals, I would love to see them. I will say this.
Oh, I got another 2021 goal.
Me too. I got one. Go ahead.
Everybody send $1 to $ Corey Ken. Everybody send $1 for my for my fund. Yo, that Bitcoin fund, that $2 that Courtney sent me, and that money that Kamari sent me, the $5 he sent me, that $7 is worth $22 right now. So
Hey, man, like you said, wealth is a group activity.
wealth is a group activity. That $7 they sent me in total is worth $22 right now. I bought that Bitcoin I bought was at $6,000. And so, you know what I mean? And then the one I bought with Courtney was like at $10,000. So that it's worth like $22, $23 right now.
So Corey, I just want you to remember who helped you sow into your life and accumulate more wealth. I helped you accumulate.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not mad at y'all at all. Like,
I
listen,
couldn't let that one go, Courtney.
the getaway fund is a little bit bigger.
All right. So I seen a couple more additions in here. No, I got that one already. Fiali says, I took my road test. All right, get my license. Will increase my range in terms of purchasing property. My man.
Nice. You're a New Yorker. So listen, for those people who don't know, Jose's a New Yorker. So a lot of New Yorkers don't drive.
Okay.
Right.
So,
but I know that for a fact because I have a bunch of family in the Bronx. I used to have a bunch of family in the Bronx. But I have seen a movement, though, right? And this is the question I was going to ask. I see a lot of younger folks, Gen Zers and millennials, that don't drive, don't want a driver's license. And I was wondering if anybody had any insight on that. So chime that in the comments for us.
I've seen that too. No, I've actually seen that too. They say, "What's the point?" Like they love Uber. They love Uber and Lyft. That's like their thing. So,
but I guess for me, again, it depends on your geographical location. Like New York, I get it. You got a bus, you got a train, you got hacks. You can get anywhere that you want to go relatively quickly. But for a lot of other people in other parts of the country, that's actually an economic deterrent, not having a driver's license and not having a vehicle. So
yeah.
That's why I made sure to let people know, you know what I mean, he a New Yorker. So, you know, the kind of access to, movement that he had. He could get around, but he wants to increase his range. So that's dope.
Right. And Corey just said his next neighbor is 10 miles away. So
yeah,
Corey got a car.
Yeah, like
that's what I'm saying. Like in certain parts of the country.
Oh yeah, facts. Courtney, was that Peloton code for me?
It was.
It was for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yo, she right on it.
Listen,
you need to be busy. I got busy. I have.
All right. So I want to say this, and I want to get the panel's reaction to this, right? And Courtney, I'm using you as a prop for this, but it's not really about you.
No.
It's too late. It's already done. So listen, when we look at Clubhouse, right? And all the black people that are on here, what do you call it? Chatty House? What's the other name?
Cap House. It's now called Cap House.
Yeah.
Cap House.
Black people make everything cool. Even with Peloton, we are making it cool. Like Beyonce is on there. When do we get to the point? And again, this is no shade at you, Courtney or Jimmy, but when do we make it normal for us to build the stuff and then promote it and then make that cool? Like when do we get to that point?
I think we're already there. We do. But listen, if you had a black Peloton, I'm with it. But until then, I'm gonna own equity in the one that's there.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about owning equity, and we can't be there because what did Peloton do this year or last year on the market? 700 and some odd %.
Yes, overall, yeah. I got in about 6 of it, but they did like 7, yeah.
Right, and Chatty House or Clubhouse, right? So Jimmy has coined a new term that we all kind of follow suit with. Clubhouse has been totally popularized by black folks. Now there has been some white media and some other things, but for the last, I would say 3 to 4 months, it's been all black folks making it hot. From the Kevin Hart incidents to the Meek Mill incidents to the Beanie Siegel stuff that's going on there, we're making it hot. And how many of us are going to walk away from that situation with any kind of equity or any kind of money?
I know Beyonce did. She said she don't even get involved unless you pay her in equity.
Listen, Beyonce is equity in Peloton. Like that was part of her whole thing.
Yeah, she gets.
But with that being said, though, what I meant by that is all of us.
I know what you meant, Jimmy. I got you, but I want to go to the truly founder side of things.
Okay.
Right? When do we become more founders of these things that we make hot?
As soon as the cookout come out, we on there.
So all right. I'm a reserve comment on that one. All right. Okay. The cookout. So you mean to tell me ain't no black cyclist out there that's got a great act that we can get behind?
But
Not that I know of. And it's not just the app, it's the hardware too. And not that I know of.
and it's the hardware, it's the ability to actually be in these spaces and get the funding. Like, I mean, that's the thing. And they talk about even on, you know, on the startup side, a lot of Black companies have problems getting money to actually get to the place where they actually are able to have a Peloton.
So, but it's 2021. I get that, and I know they're all issues. I got that, right? I know y'all well read. Y'all correct. Y'all know I'm well read on that. But it's 2021, y'all. When do we like really make a hard turn on the corner and say, you know what? Forget this. Because listen, there's nothing wrong with being an equity participant in this. But we're not going to see any real changes in the Black wealth issue, the Black wealth gap, until we really start getting into these founder spaces. And when Black people really start putting their bread up, it's great to get VC commitment, right? But you got to remember, we're still putting white bread into the mix with most of that VC commitment.
But we need to support those. We need to support those that are raising capital too. That's all of us part of the process. But I think we're moving towards that.
Yep.
Right. So there's a young lady named Sienna who has Sienna Sauce, right? So she was raising capital, and I bought equity in her company, right? This is pre-IPO, pre-anything. And one of the reasons I did it, honestly, is because she had a good product, but she was a young sister trying to do something. So there are people out there raising capital on the private market, and we have to participate in that just as well as we do in the public market.
Okay, so I want to pull an executive order. We got to start finding these IPOs, pre-IPOs, and really start giving light to those during the show as well, because that's super important, y'all. That's super important.
We should do a different show for that, but we can definitely find I mean, there's a lot out there. Like there already have the websites that there's a bunch of different websites where you can find
everything from the 10K project to the we funder, whatever it is. I know there's a lot of them.
You do have people like, you know, Harlem Capital, you have Backstage Capital, Backstage has an office here in Philadelphia also, where they fund
shout out to Arlen.
Yeah, Arlen Wayne's, right. So they fund, you know, Black and women and queer, you know, projects. There are a lot more Black VC companies. And one thing I saw, my man, the boy Mark Monroe said, is someone posted a question about when are we going to keep something Black owned instead of, you know, selling out to the white people, right? And what Mark said was he sold his company for $480 million, but what that allowed him to do was use that money to invest in companies with majority Black founders.
Right.
You know? So it's not about pulling out. It's about, you know, pulling the next person up.
Yeah, and the Shea Butter guy did that. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he did that as well. He created a whole fund.
And we buy Ebony magazine,
Essence
magazine.
Yeah.
And he built the Madam C.J. Walker Mansion.
Yeah,
I appreciate that too. Right.
Yep. So I'm just saying, I think that should be definitely a theme for 2021. I'm going to ask the audience, anytime you see something or someone promoting a business that is Black owned and they're potentially looking for capital, just throw it in the group or let us know about it.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there that's put in the private chat, the one I was talking about, but that's one that so we set up like a our own fund, my wife and I, and to specifically invest in private Black companies. And that's one of the first ones that we found, and we put our money behind it. So I think it's happening. You know, but again, we're 100 years behind. But I think that we've kind of turned a corner. At least that's the way I see it. Like, I think there's really a renaissance going on, and a lot of us don't recognize it because we're living through it. But I think we'll look back at these times and see that, you know, specifically when it comes to Black finance, that things are changing. At least that's the way I see it. Maybe it's my bubble, but that's how I see it. We're having the conversations about real estate. We're talking about equity. We're talking about stock. We're talking about precious. We're talking about precious metals. We're talking about crypto. We have all these spaces where we're talking about these things that just didn't exist before.
Listen, Ron Artest has a VC fund out there that's actually doing pretty well. And like Ron Artest isn't somebody that people were like, oh, you know what, he's a VC. But no, Ron Artest is out there. He got a group of people behind him, you know, and he's really going crazy. There's this cat named I think it's Rashad or Rasheen Lewis, something like that. I forget his name, but
Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis, well, helping all the athletes right to get into the startup space or they do mostly late stage startups. You know, they don't do early stage startups, and so they're really in that space. But I think that, but you're right though. It's like, but the one thing that all the VCs say is, once you become a VC, they get like 100 pitch decks a day.
Yeah,
like all you gotta do is
crazy.
Put VC behind your name on LinkedIn, and you'll get like 100 pitch a day. And so, I have zero desire to put together a fund. I would put money into a fund, but I don't want to run the fund. So if anybody has an idea, then cool. Let me know what the buy-in is, and I'll contribute.
I have one. I just never raise capital. It's like, we set up an entity for. I don't want Courtney to cuss at me about setting up an entity, but we set up an entity for that. But that's the thing. I literally look specifically for, Black founders. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what I did it for.
Got you. All right, let's check out.
See, Bella, I don't even want to own Club. I think Clubhouse.
All right, well, let's read the whole comment, though, Malik. Let's read the whole comment. So, is there a pre-IPO for Clubhouse? Hey, here's an idea about the Buy the Hood, create a private equity firm where we can use this platform as invested pre-IPO.
Yeah, that's what Jim was just talking about.
I apologize for jumping in.
Oh, I didn't know that, Jim.
No. So no, the one I said I wasn't about the hood. It was something that Monica and I set up like a couple years. Like, so we saw like something that we wanted to do. So we set up a entity, and we've been purchasing minority-owned companies, so Black-owned companies. Let me not use the word minority, but that's how they're labeled on. Anyway. But that's how they're labeled. When you go into that space, that's how they're labeled. But I look specifically for Black-owned companies to invest in, and like I said, one of them, the one we made the biggest purchase in was Sienna Sauce, which the young lady is phenomenal. But there are a lot of people out there. I mean, it's a lot of junk too, but there's a lot of folks out there with good projects that are, trying to raise capital. We need to get behind them the same way we do in the public market.
Right. But yeah, because that was kind of dovetailing into what I was talking about. Like, every company doesn't need to be a public company. I mean, so I know there's a lot of I don't know the word, sexiness that goes into being a public company, but there's also a lot of money and a lot of stress. Like, a lot of our companies actually need to learn how to master to be very, very good bootstrappers and learn how to run very, very well executed businesses before they even think about going VCs now or going IPO. Now, there are some ideas out there that deserve to go IPO from the door. However, I would say 95 to 99% of them are not.
What about Venom Spoons?
But
Yeah.
let's talk about IPOs generally. IPOs are usually a way for the early investors to get out and actually have their shares be marketable to the public. So it's not necessarily that, not every company that's a good company actually needs to go public at all.
That's right.
Something that a lot of people miss. Like, oh, this company is public, it must be good. Maybe
Wawa is a perfect example of that.
Wawa's killing the game, and it's all privately owned by their employees. And
it's a great example of the power of family business as well.
Correct. So is Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme actually is a privately held company.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were.
No. They IPO'd like 20 years ago.
No. They were taken.
They got bought back private. They got taken back private.
Yes, they were.
The private company that bought them back, they own something else too. I forgot what else they own.
They own a couple of companies.
I think Panera. Was it Panera? Something they own something else.
They own a couple. I forgot offhand how many they own.
Because because Panera went through that too, went IPO and got bought back private. But I think it might be the same company.
Yeah, it's one of those companies that's rocking and rolling in that particular space. So
Jose, thank you for these links, and everybody else, thank you for the links. Do me a favor though, post them in the group, the Blackboard Project group. If y'all can start a thread on there, because everybody can easily access it and see it going forward. If y'all not in the group, y'all need to be in the group. Y'all missing out on some great conversations. All you got to do is search the Blackwell Project group on Facebook.
Here you go, Courtney. It's a private company called JAB Holdings.
Mm-hmm.
They bought Pete's Coffee, Mighty Leaf Tea, Krispy Kreme, Keurig Dr. Pepper. They had 67% of that. Old Bond Payne, Panera Bread. So yeah, they bought a bunch of those companies.
Yo, Keurig Dr. Pepper is a low key juggernaut.
Yes, it is.
A low key juggernaut.
But here's the crazy part about this private company, JAB Holdings. It was a family business, but It was started in 1828.
Damn.
No.
So they on the low, making moves since 1828.
Right.
And it's Obama Pan.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it is. I know that it's like it's similar
Tracy
to
showing her
Canary.
French off. Tracy showing her French off.
Excuse me.
Yeah, she had French at in that, I'm sure.
I mean, I have
and Ivy
French
Leaf.
too, but
I
you know,
did, actually. Thank you.
I still count to 10. But you know, that's because I kept switching back and forth from French to Spanish. Like to be honest with you, I only took French because it was a young lady who told me there was a lover's language. I said I'm gonna take that, but it never worked
Look at
out.
young Jimmy being a pimp.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. Trying to get me in trouble. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Monica, for the record. I got you, Jimmy. I got you, bro. Monica, the commentary of Kamari Ellis is not. It's just Kamari.
Karan said they also bought Insomnia cookies. That's crazy. So
yeah, but I think that's kind of like that is their play, and that's been their play for the last 10 years. I actually talked about that in my How to Buy an IPO class because I wanted to, because a lot of people think like, oh, all these companies. I was like, well, no, there's a couple of companies that are out there that, you know, that were public and they were taken private. And Levi's actually was taken private in the 80s and they IPO'd last year.
Yep, and Levi's is another one of those companies that came back, or not came back, but have been around since the 1800s.
Yeah.
Per the gold rush.
From the gold rush. Yep. I talked about cannabis.
So here's a question from T. Rouse. Hey T, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today. He said, "What's your daily routine to stay up on Wealth Game? Any gems, sources you would like to share?" I know for me, I kind of get back. Meditation is really big for me. I need to do it more. I need to get back on it because sometimes I be on it, and sometimes I'm off it. But when I practice my daily meditations, I'm on it. And when I couple that with a decent workout, I'm like supercharged. I get a whole bunch done throughout the day.
You know what's something? It's something crazy, right? So meditation is something that I picked up in 2020. And I was having a conversation with Monica the other day about this. One of the reasons I was able to kind of execute this time, because I've been trying to learn to meditate for a while, and I never thought about it until she pointed out. So there's and this is not a Peloton ad, but there's a young lady who's a yoga instructor on there who does meditation, Chelsea Jackson Roberts. I'm pretty sure that I know Courtney knows what I'm talking about.
Peloton gang has been activated.
When I started taking her meditation, it actually worked a lot better. And Monica said maybe it's because to have speaking of culture and people, you have someone that talks your language that looks like you, walking you through that process. In the past, I've never had like trying to take any sort of like meditation programs or anything where it's any white black. But you know, Chelsea Jackson Roberts is from the culture, like so it's a little different. And I never thought about hearing a white voice, how that can affect you trying to learn to meditate or even do yoga.
Because it don't sound like the voice in your head. It's like, who this squealy ass voice trying to tell me to be quiet? Like,
so
no.
when she pointed that out to me, I was like, wow, it might be something there because now I'm able to finally, you know, let go and do what I need to do.
You feel safe, right? I got hip to meditation because of Russell Simmons, right? I don't want to talk about his other dalliances and his stuff. I'm just talking about.
Is he still hiding in Bali?
I have no idea.
He came back.
I have no idea. I ain't going down that rabbit hole, but that's who I got started with meditation with, and yoga to a large extent, and I think they both do.
So my daily routine actually is set by my goals. So I like a lot of people talk about their New Year's resolutions, and we talked about our goals for this year. Like I set my goals by the year, and I set my goals by the quarter. And when I do, and kind of by the quarter, by the month, by the week, and then that breaks down what I should be doing on a daily basis. Now, am I perfect on that? Absolutely not. But it helps me stay focused on my wealth goals because it has to kind of fit into a bigger picture in terms of like what I pay attention, what I watch. I have Yahoo Finance. I love Yahoo Finance. I think it's just easy. It pops on my phone. I also have Google Alerts. And I tell people I am very much a fundamental analysis person. So I have the companies that I follow, I have them on my Google Alert. So I'll get information coming through that like articles that have come up and been written about these companies that I'm interested in. And the reason why is that a lot of people are like, well, you know, you buy the rumor, sell the news. I'm able to find out what's going on with the company that's outside of the finance world. Because I think the finance world gives it to you skewed. Like they had their agenda and they're going to give it to you. I just want to know the news. I'll make my own, determination after I find out what's going on. And that's actually served me well as an investor. And that's what I talk about with my students. I'm like, listen, and I think Kamari talked about it. I think it was one of our group chats. He was saying, Kamari and somebody else, I think his name is Mark. He was saying, you need to research these companies like your spouse is cheating on you. I mean, but listen, I thought you have to be Inspector Gadget with these companies.
I'm still in that though. That's pretty hard. I'm still in
that. That's hard as rocks.
I absolutely love it because it's true. Like, you got to look up under stuff. You got to say, well, what is this person doing? Are you really supposed to be doing that? Are you supposed to get paid that much? What did you do with that money? And every single time that I was that critical of companies, and people got mad at me when we had the conversation about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but I looked at those docs and I was like, this don't smell right. And then, but I also kept that same energy for Snapchat. I kept it for Uber. I kept it for all those IPOs that were coming out. That was like something not right in the water. But again, you have to read their docs. You have to keep up with their news. But the gem is not in the headline. It's kind of like, how do we get to the headline? What more is there beyond this headline? That's kind of with the way I make my plays. And shout out to Peloton. I didn't get the $700, 700% increase. I only got $550. I'm going to take my $550 and be okay. I'm going to breathe. Jimmy beat me. Feel some type of way about that. But I mean, again, I kept paying attention to Peloton. I don't fool with I don't fool with companies after IPOs. I'm like, okay, you IPO'd. Let's look at this lockup period, which is about 6 months. Peloton was 6 months. Then I started looking at them seriously, but I used them. And then I saw everybody else using it. And I was like, let's go. And it was the same thing with Netflix. Everybody was talking about Netflix and chill in 2014. I didn't own Netflix. But I didn't have a Netflix account. I was using somebody else's. But I was like, if everybody's Netflix and chilling, let me get some Netflix. Same thing. We was up 400%. Like, it makes sense. But I mean, that's what I look at when I'm looking at my finance. Because again, you're buying a piece of a company. Everybody gets hype on the stock and all that. Like, yes, the stock is evidence of your ownership, but you're buying a company.
Yeah.
Well,
real quick, I just want to answer something.
Let me say something real quick, y'all, because Courtney done triggered me. When Courtney did that review on Treff, it was a very, very good review. And I was really upset at a lot of people's responses to her review. Many people that many of y'all like and follow called her crabs in a barrel. Now, I'm not going to say no names. But
Dr. Who? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was the doctor. But no. I know we have to be able to separate analysis from hate. And what Courtney did was great analysis. Now, am I biased? Am I partial, Courtney? Yes, I am. However, I will tell Courtney in a minute when I disagree with something. And we go through that all the time. But what she did again was analysis. If y'all really want us to be on these platforms and really giving y'all real tea, then you had to be willing to not like something just because some charismatic person is out here collecting coins and y'all think it's all great and it's the next coming of Black Jesus.
She was early on that. She was definitely early on that.
Yeah, she was definitely.
I want to say something about T's question though.
Let me just finish this last piece and wrap it up. So we just had to be willing to separate personality from analysis. But go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was going to say to T's question about like what kind of helped with the whole in terms of getting your health together. To me, the biggest piece is an accountability partner, whoever that may be, right?
Whose question was that? I want to put it up on the screen.
T, when T asked about any sort of like, tips.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. He asked the wealth game, and then he talked about yoga. He talked about Egyptian yoga and all that. But get into the wealth piece in terms of health, like the accountability partner, as it comes to investing, as well as like, getting your health together. I think the accountability partner is key, right? Is absolutely key. So, I talked earlier about the South of Jazz. Like, it was so amazing. I definitely wanted to have it a couple more times. My accountability partner, she said, no, we're not doing that. And even when it comes to like investing and everything Courtney said is 100% accurate, it's good to have people that you can run ideas by too. So I do my analysis as well. I talk to Malik all the time. I've talked to Kamari. I talk to Corey. We talk about different things. So I think the accountability partner helps with that as well. Like to have another set of eyes on whatever it may be. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
Right. So let me jump in real quick. So first and foremost, I do want to say no refunds, no peace. Right now, I do want to say that personally, when I'm up at 5 a.m. and reading every day, I'm most productive. If I'm not doing those two things, then my productivity falls off a cliff. And my sleep schedule has been trashed the entirety of COVID. So my productivity has been very low the entirety of COVID. And so, that's one thing that works for me. Like, and like that mental stimulation. And like I said, that getting up at 5 a.m. and actually doing a workout, studying, and get my work done before everybody else wakes up, very much most productive.
Yeah. So I have a folder on my phone. So what I do is, my alarm goes off. I go in the bathroom and I take like an hour long shower every morning. It's like just so I can hit. All I hear is water. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't, I don't need an hour long shower, but I take one anyway, just because nobody in my family is up. I got a 2-year-old, and so what I mean, like, so to be up at a time when he's not I feel like that's a blessing, and so I take that seriously, and then I come back to my phone and then I read all the apps like they were saying, like Google, Yahoo. I do Seeking Alpha, and I watch MSNBC News a little bit on my phone, but I probably take in like a half hour of that. Like, I can't take too much of that because they start talking about, and I'm like, y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. But they have like I want to know about the markets in other parts of the country, and so I watch the MSNBC News. I mean, other parts of the world, not other parts of the country, and so I watch a little bit of MSNBC News, and then from there I'll start getting with, like Jimmy said, getting with my accountability partners and talking to people about, what I've seen and what we should do about what I've seen. So, that's the move for me. Like, and then, because once my 2-year-old get up, my day revolves around whatever he wants to do. So it ain't about me at that point anymore. And so, my mind look a little bit different. I waited, so that's what my routine looks like. So, they talk about meditating. That's where I do my meditations at, because that's the only place where I can, actually get away from anybody and not have to deal with folks.
And just to touch on meditation real quick, a lot of people think it's a certain way to do it. There is no real way to do it. There's people that meditate actually while they're exercising. It's really whatever you do or whatever you can do to get into a state of ease and calm. That's meditation for you, right? You can sit still. You can go shoot 1,000 jump shots. You can do 1,000 push-ups. Whatever works for you is what works for you.
Yeah.
So,
shout to Chelsea Jackson. She's a hero in his house.
I see you, Soror. So proud.
all right, what's up, Jabari? How you doing?
Hey, Jabbar.
Wayne says, did you see the live Treff beat? I didn't see it. I saw the afterwards. I'll just say this. I think there's something there.
I just say I watched it. I had my popcorn. It was very entertaining. Let's just say that.
It was.
Y'all got time, man. I didn't even know it was, what I mean? Like, damn.
It was like watching a TV program. I just, got the popcorn, watched it, laughed.
You funny as hell. So I just got my popcorn, laugh, chill.
I will say this though. I think it's important that anytime we're dealing with a company that they will be transparent, forthright, and proactive about dealing with investor issues, no matter who the company is. I think there's a lot to that, yo.
But I think I want to comment about Treff and just to your point, Mari, about dealing with companies, whatever they are. You have to be an intelligent investor. And I'm not coming off of Ben Graham, whose book that is. And that's the book that Warren Buffett used to learn investing. So
I was wondering whether that was like a double entendre there. I was like, is Courtney out here rapping?
I'm not, but I got bars every so often. But I share that to say you have to be smart. And what I noticed about the commentary that I got on Treff is that the commentary, if you look at the comments on my blog, I mean, it's very productive. I mean, a lot of people are like, yo, thank you so much for looking at the documents, because all I did is look at the documents. I wasn't getting into people's personalities, but if you look at the documents, there's something wrong. But sometimes you have to know what you don't know. And sometimes you have to sit things out. And I know that we have what I've noticed, especially on social media, is that we have this FOMO idea. We have fear of missing out. And it's like, sometimes you can let that opportunity pass you by because you don't understand it. But I can assure you, for every opportunity that you do not understand, there's 10 that you do. It's just that you need to focus in your excellence. I mean, we all are experts in something. So there's going to be a company that focuses on your excellence. Run after them, look at them, figure out what they're doing, because you can see as a expert in that area, like, okay, what you're doing is dope. That's amazing. And other company, what you're doing is shady. You have no business doing that. I'm not investing in you. And you can also return the ties too. Like, oh, you made a really bad left turn. I'm going to have to, sell my shares and keep it pushing. So I share that with people, because I feel like we are always like looking at the next best thing or whatever's going to, people are always asking me for stock picks. Like, what do you know? That's always going to be my question. What do you know?
Facts. T says all millionaires say the same, that it works. And when I get off my routine, I know, it's to fall off. And T, going back to your other point about the Egyptian yoga, yes, the Kemetic or the Nubians, whatever you want to call them, that are definitely on the hieroglyphics on the wall, illustrate yogic movements way before the rest of the world was even doing it. So,
but is that like a form, like, I know the history, but I've never seen like a Egyptian yoga class. Or is that a thing?
Well, I was just about to say that there's a lady in Philadelphia, I believe, that does kind of a more Egyptian-rooted yoga class, but I've never really seen it. For my Pan-African people back in the day, they always told me that yoga started in Africa, so I just pulled from that. All right, so Dawn says, thanks, Courtney. Karan says, Kinhine, I hope I'm saying that right. Kinhine is a form of walking or movement meditation. Is that the one where you're counting the beads, Karan? Thanks for joining Karan too, by the way. Oh, Trev, that was I didn't say that. By the way, the commentary of the Black Wealth Project's audience is not that of the Black Wealth Project. I'm just saying.
But it might be.
What's that?
But it might be, though. It's not necessarily, but it might be, though.
Thanks, y'all. Y'all just destroyed the disclaimer, but all right. We're rocking with it.
It may or may not be.
It may or may not. I mean, it might be, though.
All right, y'all. So listen, as we move on, right? Thanks for participating in that segment. The next segment will be our Black Icon of the day. So who has Black Icon this week, y'all?
I do.
Jim Bronsky.
Yeah, I put it in the private chat.
I'm coming to it now. Yeah, but go ahead and start, Jim.
It's Annie Turnbull Malone, who's a legend. You talking earlier about like beauty products and our history with beauty products. She was Madam C.J. Walker's mentor, and depending upon what you read, they had their little beef. I mean, the Netflix show about Madam C.J. kind of portrayed her a little different than what the books portray her, but I understand that was for Hollywood. But for those that maybe have seen that show but don't know her history, you should pretty much look her up because she was very powerful. She was actually a millionaire before Madam C.J. Walker.
Yes.
But she just wasn't really into the shine or the flash, so her story is never really told. She gave a lot of her money to the community. She set up beauty schools and was training other folks. Like I said, Madam C.J. actually came under her tutelage. And there's an amazing book, Black Fortunes by Shamari Wills, that goes deep into her story. And I think that everybody should read that. Anybody watching this show should read that book. That should be like mandatory to read that book.
Yeah, we want that on a mandatory book list. Yeah,
that should be mandatory. But the Netflix show, I see someone in the chat says Netflix show was horrible. It just, to me, from everything that I've read, it just wasn't like, true to what really happened. But again, they're selling a Netflix show, so I get it. But that's why that book to me is mandatory. But Annie Turnbull Malone should be celebrated for not only her achievements in business, but for the way that she kind of mixed the social part with it as well. She was a social entrepreneur, which is very important. So rest in power to the ancestor, legend.
And I would say most of our successful Black business people were definitely all about the community. I think a lot of times our Black business people get a bad rep because we have such a jaded view on what capitalism is and is not. So definitely shout out to all the Black business people who paved the way and done mighty, mighty things for the community. I see there's a couple of comments I didn't get to. Just real quick, shout outs to Dwight, who's here with us every week. Did I miss anybody else?
I mean, there's a lot of comments up there, but you know,
Richard, what's up, Richard? So I don't want to hold y'all. All right, Terrence Jackson. Wait, Lucky Strikes like the bowling alley? I thought that was right on. Or is this the other guy
Is this the
that's
cigarette?
in Detroit?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it-
No.
It's a dude that builds mobile
Yeah, I
bowling
think
alleys.
he's in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, definitely got to look him up. Definitely got to look him up.
I know. C.W. Bailey had an interesting comment around 810 about the term BIPOC. Going a little bit ways back, but I thought that was interesting too. As they try to popularize that term more and more, I thought his comment was a pretty good comment.
All right, well, let me find it. Go ahead and kind of expound on it, Jimmy.
He's talking about like the boxes that you're forced to check off, and you know what they're used for. You know whether they're used for doing business or so he wants to know.
Oh, that's classic. I'm with him.
Yeah. On facts.
I feel the sentiment. I definitely feel the sentiment.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
yo, that's my guy. Listen, man, he's dead serious too. Like he needs all that change.
You know what? This is kind of me. What would happen if we just started checking off white folks or other boxes? What would that do to the system?
Screw
I
it.
don't know,
all.
but somehow I think we're gonna get the short end of the stick. Somehow.
Yeah, we always get the short end.
Yeah,
Well,
the sentence is coming out, so we'll see. We
Yeah.
shall see. Well, all right, folks. We appreciate everybody being here. Any other closing words before we close out, folks, on the panel?
Go to $COR. Oh no, let me stop.
No, you've been doing it, Corey. I'm glad you're bringing it back.
Yo, $COREYCAMP. Listen, every dollar's appreciated. Everything that ever comes to that account goes
Cash
right
App.
into goes into Bitcoin. So if you hit my Cash App with any money, it goes directly into Bitcoin, and that's my Bitcoin getaway fund. And so I love people, but I don't love people that much that I want to be around them forever. And so, help me escape. You know what I mean? Put me in my escape pod and send me a couple dollars to my.
Oh,
This pitch, I can't.
Hey, so look, man, I
Hey,
think
listen, if you love
did
me,
you see Jose's comment?
All right, hold on, y'all. No, I did not see Jose's comment, but go ahead, Malik. I'll come to you and then I'll get to Jose.
yeah, just real quick, just two quick things. One, I did something not cheap this week. I bought some sneakers from Sayev from somewhere in America.
Whoa,
You know,
you got a couple dollars.
I ordered that and a luggage bag.
oh man,
What?
So you know,
right.
I know what he charged.
yeah. I spent a couple dollars. You know, support a black business. You know, it is what it is. And also, I think I told Jimmy or somebody else. I had an idea, man, of starting a athletic league for fat people. Pretty much. Like, listen, like I want to play ball, but I don't want to play ball with the young boys. I want to play ball with other people's out of shape.
Honestly, I think that would have traction.
So what happens? What happens when
I'm gonna
you
get
you
30 on y'all
actually
fat asses because I'm
You get
still
kicked out the
fat
league?
and Huh?
We
do
say,
you get kicked out the league if you start to get in shape because you're playing?
Yo, I'm gonna put numbers on y'all fat asses because I'm fat too, but I got my jumper still wet.
I'm saying, listen, we need a. It's got to be like a body mass index limit.
A BMI league.
Be in my league.
There it is, the BMI league. Don't nobody tell that. That's Malik's.
Listen,
You
listen.
gotta trademark that real quick.
We can play ball. We're gonna take slow bike rides, all that shit, man. I mean,
All right, so is this the comment you was talking about, Jimmy? In reality, you can check any box you want. There's a young lady who saw her credit go up once she checked white. That's interesting because I would think her credit score was linked to that, and that would kind of dispel any racial or ethnic
Let me
solution.
ask you a question. I only feel that. Do you guys think that your race or anything? I mean, we know what they we know what they say your credit score is based on. All of us know what it's supposed to be based on. The credit score is something that I don't think I'll ever completely understand because I know what they say on the sites of each agency. I know what's kind of like taught in the books, but to me, it's still a little out there. But I was wondering, like, that didn't make any sense when I read what he wrote. Like, how would that actually factor into a credit score? But also, nothing kind of shocks me living in this country.
Nothing.
Nope, I agree. But I mean, they also just came out with a new revision of all those Fair Isaacs and scores and everything too. So I don't even try to figure it out anymore. But this is the last one. I've always felt investing in the market without being properly diversified is a huge gamble. I would like to hear y'all thoughts on that sometime. I stick to mutual funds for that reason. I may not consider the market. All right, we will talk about that in a show upcoming. Not sure when. We got to go back and look at our schedule. We actually are due to have a stock market show anyway. So we'll definitely talk about that in the near future. T, thank you for that.
Mutual funds. I'll be clear about that.
You what?
You said what?
I really don't like mutual funds. I think they're expensive for what you're getting.
Oh yeah, you're actually very slanderous. You and Kamari love ETFs.
Very much so.
Yeah,
they're a better vehicle than mutual funds typically. But to be honest, ETFs are mutual funds as well. They just get treated a little bit differently because of the Investment Act of 1940. But
my problem with ETFs are never mind. We'll talk about it on the show.
They're funds. They're both funds. They're both pooled investments.
Courtney, we're ending the show. We can talk about this next time.
We have a whole conversation.
Yes, next time. Tracy, you got anything? Jimmy, you got anything to end the show out?
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you back next time. Next week, Blackwell Project, 7 p.m. next Sunday. Blackwell Project, 7 p.m. next Sunday. Y'all have a great night. So long.
$COREYCAMP.
And he did it like beans, y'all. He did it like beans.